Greetings, it's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario with your reading for December 1st through to the 7th inclusive. We are dealing with a full moon in this week, and it's almost a full moon in perigee. It's real close to perigee. So we may have those impacts actually. So I'm using the same decks as last week, and if you want to see my review of what ones they are, there's a lot of new decks actually in this reading especially. Just to have a quick look back at last week's, because it's always, we're pulling for 2 weeks at a time, the biggest picture that I can, given the way the seasons work and the moon cycles work. So this week we have the Badly Tarot. First time I've used it in a reading for anyone or online or anything. So it got as well shuffled as could possibly be, and lots of good information here. So let's go to the cards, Brian. We start with the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups, all twos are balance. The yin and the yang, the dark and the light, the male, the female, all of those good things. And it can represent couples finding peace with a partner. And we all need to do that, find peace with our partner, if we have one. And so it's finding balance in all ways possible, physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually, as we head into the never-stopping train that is the holidays in December. It's interestingly clarified by card 14, Temperance. She is the artist. She is the balance. She is the one who she's an alchemist, really. She brings down from the heavens and brings up from the earth, and is an artist in that doing. So she's asking us again to bring a form of balance spiritually as much as physically into our week ahead. The second card here, the significator of the Two of Cups, is followed by the Queen of Swords. Suffers no fools, takes no quarter, smart, wise, intellectually, the person you want to have in your back corner making decisions about things. And it's clarified here. Basically, actually, let's come back to this. When we are overly emotional in the holidays and make decisions from that place only, we are not in balance. We are working from the past. We are not in the present. So she's looking back on this. I need to speak to that for a moment. She's looking back on this and helping us to maintain the clarity that we need. Her card is clarified by darkest hour. There in the void of thy darkness swells the shadow of the soul, swallowing the wickedness into the blackness of its wholeness. So sometimes we are pretty on an emotional roller coaster that eventually goes down into the depths at Christmas. Christmas is not a happy time for everybody. So the Queen of Swords is here to balance the warning not to go into an old pattern. These are old patterns when we do it this way. We need to forgive what hasn't been forgiven. We need to forget and let go of what's a burden emotionally. This card speaks volumes for December, especially the first week. The Four of Swords. This is a big time of the need for rest. Deep rest and peace, so profound. Quite often, this person is portrayed lying on what looks like a coffin. They look almost dead. And it relates to Pisces here. This is interesting, the coming of the end of the lunar cycles. So the Four of Swords says we need to balance the doing with the being. And the being, in this case, during this week, is finding time for peace. We also have the card here for a journey. The journey is clarifying that. The journey can be, metaphorically, the journey of peace, but we also know that this is a collective reading. Therefore, the journey can be that we are preparing to travel over the holidays. So the preparation for travel isn't just packing and going nuts and getting our money and all of that stuff and packing and everything. It's about having some rest before we journey. The Eight of Cups and later the Six of Swords speak of something. We have to leave behind something that we're good at, that we are mature and skilled at, but no longer serves us. This can be a spiritual thing. We may need to literally walk away from a life that we're ensconced in, pack up and go. It can be a job, a skill, a marriage, anything. It can be a number of things we have to let go. It may simply be the need for a winter New Year retreat, like going into retreat, having a soul retrieval. It could be some kind of spiritual quest, a sweat lodge. It can be that simple. It all depends on the individual and how deeply they must walk away and what they know they must walk away from. The Memento Mori card that clarifies this is about necromancy. And necromancy is talking to ancestors. This still is the time of the ancestors. So helping us to find where we need to be on our life's journey involves looking back and connecting with our ancestors. If you don't see yourself as a person to do mediumship, find a good person you trust to do that. But certainly sit in prayer, journal, do what you need to do to give yourself the strength to walk away. Change things up. The Knight of Coins is that one knight who's not on a racehorse. They are on a Clydesdale or a Percheron or the great big farm horse, the workhorse, the ones that slowly and steadily do the work. When they check their fields, they're not pulling up the plants to see if the plants have taken root. There's a patience and a wisdom. So this knight is joining us on our 8, if I can. Yeah, he's looking at the 8. So for sure, we have support from Spirit. And from this is an archetype. We can take on the archetype of the Knight of Coins. And the Knight is clarified by the King of Coins. So we know that we are developing legacy, ultimately. What we do in this week, what plans we make, how we manifest our time spent in this week becomes part of a well-known legacy. Important, very important. The Six of Swords, like the Eight of Cups and the Four of Swords, The Six of Swords here are asking us to be taken to different shores. The looking, the perspective, it's a successful thing. It's a successful movement. They're suggesting I pull out the book here and read the old-timey Six of Swords. So I will do that. Okay. Entering a space of joy, playful and blossoming mind, refinement, finding common ground and agreeing with people, beautifully and harmoniously moving forward, sharing knowledge. It's the peace that comes from moving on, moving out of distress. And it's clarified by, if we don't move on, here's another ship thing, we may get stuck. This is the River Styx from the Karma cards. And it references if we don't seek joy and move towards success, we're going to get stuck in the underworld, the underbelly of our lives for another year. And that's not a good thing. The Hanged Man is about, it's a major arcana card. So we've had here where are we here? Oh yes, up here we had Temperance, and now down here we have the card before it, the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is about a new perspective, holding back, observing, sometimes it's about observing for too long, not making enough of an effort at the good judgment, that we make errors. The errors are hanging here off his hands. They're the bags of gold coins, the 30 pieces of gold or silver that Judas was given for betraying Jesus in the garden. That's a very old interpretation of this card. So we need to hang back. We need to hold on to what's important, and what the whole reading comes to term in Aquarius. So Aquarius is from the 22nd, I believe, of January, the end of January till the end of February. Almost like the third week of January to the third week of February. I can just look this up. Every month the astrological stuff changes. Here we go. So Aquarius is the 20th of January to February 18th. So there we go. So that's when this all comes. Whatever we're doing in this week of the first week of December comes to term. Really think about new perspectives here. Anyway, you can flip the camera, Brian. Lots of joyful movement, and some very black and white outcomes if we don't get into a place of balance. I look at this and I go, ooh, that's weirdo karma, but we all have that karma at some point in our lives. Anyway, have a great 1st of December. Don't go nuts. Don't spend too much. Don't get overtired. I certainly won't. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We appreciate all that you do to support us at this and all times of the year. So from Brian and I, miigwech, aho.